Okay, so we're going to start doing knuckle joint. I'm referring K.R. Gopalakrishna's machine drawing, but depend you can use whatever textbook you're using. Okay, so this is I got this off Google. So in my textbook, some of the measurements are wrong. Check your thing. Okay, so this is the basic parts. This is part one, and this is the you can say the top view. I'm looking at it as top view and side view. Then this is your other part, and then you have a this is one the bolt, the securing bolt, a washer, and that the pin that holds it all together. Okay, so we're going to start making this portion first. Okay, so we can do that by selecting the XY plane and go into your sketcher. um what you're going to first start doing is try to make this fork, try to get the exact resemblance. So I'll first start by drawing a circle of radius 30, so that means diameter 60, and another circle of radius 15, so that's dia 30. Okay, once now by now you should be understanding what I'm trying to make. I'm making this portion. I've drawn the whole circle, and then I'll have my lines that basically get the rest of the part. Okay, you'll see. So after I have this, I'm gonna draw a box. Okay, I'll just put it over this side. Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna make both these ends symmetric, and then I'm gonna make at least one tangent with this. Now if I make a tangent, both are gonna go because both are gonna go and touch that because it's made symmetric. Okay. Now I've taken the center with respect to this plane. That means my center is over here. Now from here to here, I'm gonna calculate the distance and make this as the end. Now in my textbook, the distance from here to the central line of a circle that's going to come here, this portion, this line is mentioned as 30. So this is 30. Now I know this outer circle over here, the diameter is 50. So this from here to wherever it's going to be 50. That means from the center to here is the radius, which will be 25. So from here to here will be 30 plus 25. So we'll give that distance as 55. Okay, after we have this, we're gonna make one more box. Again, make both these lines symmetric with this, and now you'll make it coincident to this. I mean tangency to show tangency to that. Now I'm just gonna trim the rest. So okay, and it's good. So I'm gonna go to my trimmer. Sorry, I'm gonna trim out all these portions. Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Yeah. Can you see it taking shape? Can you see this fork forming up? Yeah. Okay, now after this, what I'll do is I'll just draw another, unselect that, draw another rectangle or so. Wait, I'll remove this. That thing became uh, this. It became constrained automatically, so that's why I deleted it. Okay, so I'm just going to make that symmetric again. And what I'll do is I'll mention this distance as 30. because the breadth is given to me as 30, and this total length from here to here is given as 125, but I know that remaining portion is 25, so that means from here till the end will be 150, because 125 plus 25. But where are you going to position this? You need to put, it doesn't matter, because you're going to edge fillet this anyways. Put it somewhere inside over here and just trim off this extra portion. Okay, wait, first we'll give this distance. Okay, so select this end and that and give it as 150. Okay, now just push this back a little bit. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, now you're gonna go back. Oh wait, can you, if we pad, it's gonna say it's not possible because this is right now two separate bodies. You have to make it one single body. So you're gonna trim out this portion as well, this portion and this. So yeah, now that's what you should eventually get. So this is what we want. Now we're gonna pad the extent. You're gonna pad this for 1 sec, let me just check. Okay, 30 itself. Okay, so since I'm giving mid extent, I'm gonna give this for 15. Okay, so this is what we get. Now over here, and over here, I'm gonna give an edge fillet of 24 radius based on my textbook. So that's how it's taking shape. Now I'm gonna make this portion, okay, the circular thing. Now in my textbook I have an extra portion that's protruding outward. For that extra portion that's protruding outward, I'm going to select this inner surface and go into pad. Now I'll draw my circle, give the radius as 50, make this point coincident with that. Okay, it is coincident, and I'm not going to mention the distance, but I know for a fact that this distance is given to me as 30. Yeah. Now I forgot to mention this to you earlier. Now if you pad right now, you're gonna get this extra portions, but your figure doesn't look like that, does it? It's a proper circle. So we'll first finish. Okay, yeah, we'll finish this pad and then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so if I pad this now, I'm gonna reverse the direction because I wanted to go in that direction and give 17.5. Yeah, now see, this is what this extra portion we shouldn't be getting. So what you could do is go into your sketcher. You can change this distance. Don't make this 55, make this like 45 or something. Yeah, so when I go back and just press OK, now it's gone in, because now it's not okay. You can see a few dots. It doesn't matter. You can just change the setting, change the dimensions accordingly. Now what I'm gonna do now is just make this symmetric. I'll select this plane and I'll get it there, and you're almost done now with the first part. I'll select this, and this, and give an edge fillet of 24 again, as mentioned in the textbook. There we go. Okay, now to finish this part off, there has to be a hole that comes there, and we have to draw an octagon over here. Now I figured out an easy way to draw an octagon by using a predefined function, which is the hexagon. So what you can start off by doing is draw a hexagon directly, like upward. It doesn't matter. We'll make it. We'll mention the dimensions later. I'm gonna make this 10, automatically constrains itself. Now if you notice, it's moving like this. So we have to we'll do that. Okay, but wait, we'll first okay, yeah, don't mention this as 10. What you do is you take a straight line and just first start off by drawing a straight line. Draw it big itself, it's not a problem, we'll fix it later. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw a straight line like that. I'm drawing it in such a way that it it cuts the corners. I'm just gonna mirror this with respect to this plane. Yeah. Now I'll get my trimmer tool. What I'm gonna trim is this portion. I'll trim these edges. And you're getting your octagon. It's as simple as that. Now you have to remember this. If I mention these dimensions right now, it will go in a way we don't want. So what you can first do is make both these points symmetric to this axis. So when we give this measurement, it distributes itself evenly. Do the same for the other side. And now what you can do is make one end coincident. And you can mention this as like what, 20, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Now make the other end coincident. Okay, wait. Yeah. You don't need to mention the dimension, it's okay. What you can mention is this, how much you want this to be. I usually give 10, but okay, it doesn't really matter. But whatever measurement you're giving, give it for the same for the other side. Now you're gonna pocket this. Now if you have to reverse the side and pocket. In my textbook it's mentioned to pocket to 37.5, so I'll pocket to that. And you get this. This is what you want. So this is the first part done. 30 minutes. Okay. Okay, fine, we finish it. So I just go in my whole definition. Make sure that's in the center. So yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, and the pocket is for 25 as well. Depth 30. Okay, I'm just gonna give 100 because I want it up till the end. And this is 25. Yeah. So that's what this is your finished knuckle joint part 1. I'll start with the second part now. The second part also is very simple. It's plain. So what you can do is just draw this rectangle first. You'll be done with this in like few seconds. Just draw a rectangle. Make these ends symmetric. And mention this distance. This distance is given as okay. So in my textbook, yeah, see this from here to here is mentioned as 100. But again, from this figure we know, since the center lies on the same line for these circles, the outer diameter of the circle is given as 50 in my textbook. So that means the radius is 25. So from here to here is 25. So since this is given as 100 and the remaining is 25, I'll give it's supposed to be 125, but again, if we do complete 125, we'll have that extra portion. So I'm going to give 115, and then I make again these two edges symmetric. Then this distance is mentioned to me as 30. Now I'm just going to exit my workbench and give a pad. Again, this pad is also mentioned as 30, so 15. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just going to select this portion, and now I'll draw my circle. My circle distance is given as 50 at the diameter, and yeah, and again, since the center to here is mentioned as 100. Now see, that extra portion lies within the circle, so when we pad this, it's hidden. So I'll pad this, reverse the direction, pad for 30, and we'll get that. Select that again, just make a circle for the whole, or you can go into your whole definition, it really doesn't matter. This is given as 25, and again this is mentioned as 100. Again, I'll go back and pocket this. Yeah, 30 or up to last, won't matter. Okay, we're almost done with this. Select the surface, and the same way how you made the octagon for the previous part, you'll do the same thing over here. Just make it a little big, however, yeah. Then you draw these straight lines. You can just mirror this, and then go into your eraser tool and delete these edges. Yeah, okay, then same procedure, make these symmetric. Similarly this as well. Then you can start off by making one of these ends coincident. There you go. Okay, and what's happening? Yeah, and then you can mention this as 15. Same thing you'll do for this side. Okay, and then you'll exit your workbench and again pocket this. Reverse side 37.5. Yeah, and there is your part 2. Don't forget to give these edge fillets. I forgot to do it for the previous part. It's fine. Make sure you don't forget to do it. And this, you can edge fillet this for 5. Yes. Okay, wait. Probably give like 2 or something. It's because this thing that I mentioned was too much. The hexagon that we drew. So probably if I make this, and whatever readings you give for this, make sure you give it the same to all. So now if I give, okay, it just changes its orientation a bit. If I give 5 now, it'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this is part 2. Part 2 done. The rest is very simple. This is part 3 now. We're going to make this portion. Okay, quickly. I'll just go into my. Actually, I don't need that. I can draw freehand. I can take the profile tool itself. I'll just make a shape like this. And this total distance is given to me as 38, but since I'm going to shaft this, it's basically going to be half, so I'm giving 19. Push this up a little bit, and this is given to me as 25. So okay, so it's a 25 dia, but since I'm doing shaft, it's going to be 12.5. And this distance is given to me as 10, and the rest is given to me as 82. So from here to here is 82. Okay, now we're just going to make both these ends symmetric to this. It doesn't matter if you're very bothered about making your figure completely constrained, then you can proceed with that. Okay, then we're gonna just shaft this, and you'll get your bolt. You have to make a hole over here on this surface. You can either go into your hole tool and select the surface, or you can also select the plane and go into the sketch. So I'm just gonna constrain this hole. I mean the hole itself. So I'll make it first coincident with that plane, and then I'm gonna give this distance as 11.5 as mentioned in my textbook. I'm gonna go back, and the diameter is given as 5, and the depth you're gonna give it for 25 because it has to go all the way through, and that's it. So that's that part. 2 minutes. Okay, and you have remaining 2 parts. We'll make the washer first. It's again very simple. Select that surface and go into your sketcher. It's basically 2 circles. That's it. You're gonna constrain this as 25 and then 38. 25 dia, 38 dia. And that's it. Again, go back, pad, mirror. The total distance is given as 10, so 5. Again, over here you have a hole that goes through. So you can either select that surface, or actually I'll show you the other. Or you can select this plane and go into your sketcher. Then you draw a circle, and this is supposed to be 5. And you can go back out and pocket. Now you're gonna give mirror extend and give this for like 50 or 25. So it passes through the whole thing. Or you can give it, the distance should be the anything greater than the outer diameter or the outer diameter itself. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so that's done. Your final thing is the pin, so you can go again into your part design, and this is also a simple shaft. So select this, just make something similar to how the pin looks like. Make both these ends symmetric, and the ratios are mentioned as 1:50, and they mentioned this distance as 6.5. Since you're doing 1:50 ratio, by doing the calculations you'll figure out that this end will be 5.5 then, since you're making a tapered pin. And this total distance is given as 44. That's it. Now you're just gonna go out and give your shaft option again. That's it. And you're done. Oh wait, hold on. It's too thick. That's because you're gonna take half of these because you're shafting the option, so it's 5.5 by 2, and this will be 6.5 by 2. Yeah. Go back out, just press OK, it'll update automatically. There you go. Now this is of your dia. This is of the required dia now that you need. So these are your parts. This is part 5. This is part 1. Your part 2. Part 3. No, this is your part 4 and hold on. What the hell? Okay, sorry. Yeah. This is your bolt. And that's all the parts that you need for knuckle joint.